I get it. You want to succeed in wholesaling real estate, but you tend to overthink everything. Guys, it's Rick, and in today's video, we're going to go over overthinking, show you the signs of it, why it happens. I'm going to give you 5 steps to cure any overthinking in wholesaling real estate, and I'll give you techniques so you can deal with it even if you're still overthinking. But before I get into it, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can actually find the truth out about wholesaling. So I said it, overthinking. Is that you? I know that was me when I first started out wholesaling. And how do I really know if I'm an overthinker? Well, it's simple. Overthinkers just take way too long to come to a decision. And because the timeline's so drawn out, that is the Achilles tendon to overthinking. It just takes too long. You need too much data. The reality is you're trying to be a perfectionism, meaning you want to make sure you get the most positive outcome. But the problem with that is more time is not going to give you a better outcome. In fact, in my opinion, it's going to get worse. And a lot of you are basing your past experiences in other jobs, other careers, other schools, with your parents in your childhood that really has nothing to do with wholesaling. So what are the true signs of an overthinker? It's anytime you get into a repetitious thought. You see, when you think of something over and over, it starts to become unproductive and it'll actually start taxing your life, thus leading you massive amounts of stress. And the worst outcome is what we call anxiety building, where the unknown variable gets so pronunciated, it starts to multiply and build to where that actually overtakes the overthinking problem. Here's the good news is, if you guys recognized any of the words, any of the definitions I just used, and you want to fix it, this video is for you. So I have a simple 5-step process that will fix any type of overthinking you do with wholesaling or actually any other areas of your life. So feel free to use it and however it best serves you. In step 1, you have to recognize it. You see, if you can't recognize a problem, it's impossible to fix it. So we always start out with step number 1. If you tend to take too much time to make a decision, you're always trying to get it perfect, most likely you're an overthinker. I want you to understand this. Being an overthinker doesn't make you a person that's smarter or makes more money. In fact, it's the opposite. Imagine if you sat at a red light and you constantly try to anticipate when it turned green. Sometimes we do that. You went through all the calculations in your head, all the worst case scenarios, and you kept going. Or maybe you can just trust when it turns green, you just go. When it goes green, I'm going to approach the speed limit and I'm going to get a point A to point B. That's a decision that's done. The problem with overthinking is it's just one decision. If it comes to pulling a list, if it comes to writing an offer, if it becomes to asking a buyer for a higher payment, if it comes to asking for a smaller deposit when putting down on a risky real estate contract. The problem is each of these are individual decisions, and in your average day, you're going to go through thousands and thousands of decisions. So if you spend 4 hours making one decision, that's 3 hours and 50 minutes. You killed all your other decision-making ability. That's why overthinking is a real problem. In fact, I'm here to tell you, I easily described it in the beginning of this video. A lot of times it's just your ability to procrastinate. And procrastinate means you just don't want to do anything. You just want to hold off. Now, overthinking, in my opinion, tends to lead to chronic procrastination. That's why you want to nip this in the bud. So remember, step 1 is always to recognize it. So step 2, we're going to set a deadline on whatever decision you make. If you're doing a comp, if you're writing an offer in wholesaling, whatever it is, it's not that it's going to be rushed, but at some point we have to put pen to paper and make a decision and move forward. And I promise you this, either you're going to get a positive outcome and you're going to get a great flipped wholesale deal, or you're going to get a failed result. They did not accept your offer. And guess what? It doesn't mean it's over. It just means you're going to have to negotiate harder and you're going to have to dig deeper to get to the root of the facts to get to that outcome. You see, in school, you went through it, and if you failed a test, it was over. It was terrible. You got an F, and it was considered a failure. And the reality of how life works is you put your best foot forward and you get an outcome. And either it is a positive outcome or it's a negative outcome. But here's the good part. A negative outcome oftentimes is what builds you as a wholesaler. Show me a wholesaler that's never failed. I'll show you a wholesaler that is lying to you or does not wholesale. You see, you're going to have some failures to build on. That's because that's actually how you learn the business. By setting that shorter timeline, it's going to kill anxiety at its root, and it enables you and allows you and gives you permission to make that decision. Number 3, which to me is the most common sense approach to anyone that overthinks things, is we're going to break it down. Think about a puzzle. If you had to put a puzzle together and it was all blue pieces, I mean, that would spin my mind. And I've watched other people do it. Kind of freaks me out. Yeah, you can do the edges based on the shape of the pieces, but the reality is one piece at a time, one section at a time, small bite-sized pieces. You know why? Because it builds your confidence. It shows slight progress. And it gives you the belief, the confidence, that's the word I'm looking for, confidence, that you can do this if you just do them in bite-sized proportions, period. No matter how big the task is at hand, just break it down. What can you get done in the next hour? What can you get done by lunchtime? What can you get done by the end of the day? And what can you get done by tomorrow morning? If you look at it in small bites, and guys, I did an entire video on how to do scheduling and break it down. That's how you build massive momentum and actually move the needle on anything you want to get done. It's no different in wholesaling. For you to get 5 deals under contract and get them flipped, you have to start by harvesting a list. Now, you're going to have to go and get your government list. You're going to have to pull those. You're going to go overcome it with resistance. And then you're going to pull your list that you pull on X leads. Maybe they're high equity list. Maybe they're absentee owners. Maybe they're tax delinquencies. Maybe they're pre-foreclosures. But once we get that list, we gather the data. And now we have a plan to attack. And if I'm going to be cold calling and I have a list of 3,000, I'm just going to worry about the first 10 people I got to call. I got to start it. I got to build momentum. Sometimes you look at 3,000 and you go, how am I going to get through this? That's not the right question. How much am I going to get done in the next hour? Let me see what I can do. Let me challenge myself. You see, break it down in bite-sized pieces. You can get anything you want done in life. We all have the exact same 24 hours. Don't waste it. Put the actions in motion, break it down piece by piece. Step number 4, which is an important one, is limit information overload. In most cases, when you're overthinking, you tend to gather too much information. It's no different in wholesaling. In fact, a lot of you guys gather realtor information, you grab MLS data, you grab mortgage broker information, sometimes you grab title information, and then some of you guys go to like the national news and try to collect that data. We buy properties at deep discounted properties and sell them to cash buyers via assignment of contract. So for properties worth 200, I just got to buy it way below that. I don't have to have the perfect amount of repairs. I just need a motivated seller that needs to sell their house off market. That's direct to seller. If I can line that up and say I get it under contract for 120 or 130, it really doesn't matter because it's just the amount of money you're going to make at that point. You see, if I'm going to list the property and I want to buy it for retail, I got to nail the number perfectly. Remember, as a wholesaler, we just need basic parameters. What's the real value of the property, the ARV, the after repaired value, and what is it worth right now? What can I make an offer that makes sense? Understanding I only buy properties from motivated sellers that need to sell. Now, if it's worth 200, I make an offer at 100 and I wind up with 120 or 125. As long as I have a limited amount of repairs, I know that's a great wholesale deal. I don't need to bring in all this information. I don't need to bring in every news work, and I don't need to analyze it for days, weeks, or months. I can do most of this in well under 10 minutes. I just go. For those of you that really want to understand how to do this and you don't have experience, go into X Leads. We actually give you the ARV on the first page and we give you the wholesale number right next to it. That at least gives you a target if you're in the right place. That is a great tool to help you if you overthink. Don't worry, we got you covered at X Leads. We've already thought about that to help you newer investors out. And number 5 is what I call the ultimate common sense. It is called the trusted talks. And what do I mean by that? Once you have all your information, you've limited your time, you broke it down, you've limited the information. Take that information and present it to someone that is qualified and that you trust. Now, when I say qualified, if I'm trying to buy a wholesale deal, I am not going to my childhood school friend and ask them if it's a great wholesale deal. Nor am I going to my neighbor. And honestly, I'm probably not going to go to my parents because they don't know either. You see, so many of you guys ask for direction from people that don't have the skill set, have never done it before, and are what we call keyboard warriors, or worse. You go on the internet to ask for this information. You might have a 12-year-old child giving you data, and some of you guys actually use it. That's not how you do it. Number one, make sure someone's walked a mile in your shoes. Make sure they've done wholesaling or they actually do it. A lot of people in this business don't even do wholesaling anymore. They actually hate it, and I love it. So if you wanted to bring it to me and Zach, we're more than happy to help you out with it, but we're going to give you an honest answer. Now, it's up to you to decide where you take that information. If someone tells you, I think it's a really bad deal, don't take it personally. Take it as they have the experience, they trust my back, and I believe they're trying to prevent me from making a massive mistake. Why don't we adjust the offer and fix it because of this, this, and this? That's what you do when you do your trusted talks. But what do I do if I don't know anyone? Reach out, go inside of Flip with Rick, go inside our school community, the largest wholesaling community, the largest community you can have of wholesalers, and look at people who've actually done deals. Now, you can message me, you can message Zach, you can message people that have done hundreds of deals within our group. You can also go to Zach Discord. You go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, but please don't take advice from people you don't know and are not qualified. That is the key. Once you get that answer, respect it and take action with it. Once you take action, you can do this process over and over again. You see, once you identify you're an overthinker, all you got to do is go back to this video and take these 5 steps to cure your overthinking, because it is a pattern you get into. And if you keep feeding the overthinking, it will grow and prosper, and it will handicap you in all phases of not only on wholesaling, on your entire life. Now, if you catch yourself in the moment of overthinking and you're overwhelmed, I'm going to give you 2 fixes. Now, remember, you can't fix this overnight. Number 1 is recognize. Number 2, when you find yourself spiraling out of control with anxiety and every worst case scenario, which the first thing is, I want you to learn to meditate. That's right. Rick, I don't know how to meditate. That's fine. You just need 10 minutes in a quiet room, hopefully some earphones, and I want you to go into YouTube and type in 10-minute guided meditation. And then I just want you to breathe and close your eyes and listen to the voice in your ears and calm you down. Everything you need for sanctity is all inside your head. Don't let your anxiety, don't let your stress, don't let your overthinking wound you up, because you can't make good decisions. So when you find yourself in a pattern of overthinking, you have to unwind it. Number 1 is meditation. Number 2 is simply being present. Whenever you're thinking out a big thought, especially in wholesaling or anything else in your life, and you're either planning something way out in the future, maybe it's a week from now, maybe it's a month, or you're tying something in from the past. And when you try to go to the future and you try to look back on the past, this is what causes a majority of your anxiety. Now, to cure that, be mindful and be present. How do you do that? Just step outside, listen to everything going on, listen to the birds chirping, listen to the wind blowing through the trees, look at nature going by, and just be thankful. And then I want you to think of at least 5 things you are most grateful for. Just quickly comes to your head. It could be just the sun shining on your face, the fact that you got to saw your beautiful mother this morning, because I'm telling you, being grateful, you cannot be stressed, you can't have anxiety, and it just brings you back where you need to be centered, calm down, and then you can eventually go back to making your decision. And here's the key is, now you have the tools to fix it when you're overthinking. I gave you the 5 steps to tackle any overthinking, especially in wholesaling. And if you go back to the beginning of the video, I taught you words and phrases that will identify if you're an overthinker. And guys, with this video, you can get past it. Remember, the more time you think about something does not mean it's a better outcome. It's usually quite the opposite. Stop being an overthinker. You will not be paid for it, and it will wreck your inner calmness. We don't need that as a wholesaler. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you're an overthinker, and let me know which of the 5 steps you're going to implement it. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button so other people can find the truth out about wholesaling. I appreciate you. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.